You know what they say, right? They say New York basketball fans are the smartest basketball fans in the world.
Oh, there they go. There they go.
Have you seen some of these social media pages? Bro. What's good, ladies and gentlemen? How you doing? This is your boy MJ, and welcome to another episode of the Knicks Rundown. This is your one-stop shop for previews, reviews, and of course, fun views of all things Knicks basketball. So if you're new to the channel, welcome. Now, if you're like me, you're always looking for good Knicks-related information. So you've come to the right place. This is where you're gonna find smart stats, cool commentary, and of course, comedy. I mean, this is the place to be. So welcome to the channel, and if you want to stay up to date on all the things that we have going on, make sure that you like this video, of course, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so that way you can be updated on the things that we post. But also check out our social media pages, Knicks Rundown on Twitter, Instagram, and of course Facebook. So without further ado,
with all due respect, past and present, and without further to do,
let's get into it. We're nearly a quarter of the way through the season, and something smells different with this Knicks team. That's right, it's called winning. When's the last time the Knicks actually sniffed a playoff appearance this deep into the season? And there's some reasons for that. Let's start off with Julius Randle. He's averaging nearly 23 points, 11 rebounds, and 6 assists. The dude is balling. And after a rocky start to the season, RJ Barrett, he's actually picked up his play. He found his shot a little bit. I mean, let's not go crazy, but he's found his jump shot a little bit. He's slicing to the basket and he's making some winning plays. And it all surrounds the person that is manning the sidelines in Tom Thibodeau. What he's done is he's brought in his identity to the team, and that identity is defense. Now that's a good thing because you got two players in Mitchell Robinson and Nerlens Noel that are in the top 7 in blocks per game, which is great. But the bad thing in this whole defensive thing that we got going on here is that it's fool's gold.
I love gold.
That's right. The defense is fool's gold, and I'm going to tell you why. Let's run down why the defense is not what you think it is. Now, I've already said it. New York fans are the smartest basketball fans in the world, of course. So we know what good defense looks like. I mean, we already had it with our team. Go back to the 1990s Knicks. I mean, you had underneath Pat Riley and Jeff Van Gundy, you had juggernauts like Charles Oakley. I mean, if you came down the lane, he was punching you in the mouth. And then if you were going in the tunnel, he probably punched you in the mouth too, just because he wanted to. You had John Starks. You had Patrick Ewing, man in the middle. I mean, Xavier McDaniel, Anthony Mason. I mean, the list goes on and on. You had some great defensive players on those 1990s Knicks teams. But this isn't that kind of great defense. This is a good defense underneath Tom Thibodeau. Right now, they're first in the NBA in opponents' points per game. They're only allowing 102.7 points per game, which is great. The problem is,
Do we have a talent? Huh?
they're only scoring 100.6 themselves. So quick math,
I'm not a smart man.
they're giving up more points than they're scoring themselves. That's a negative 2.1 points per game. Now, the last team to have a differential that large and still make the playoffs, you got to go back 5 years. That was the Memphis Grizzlies back in 2016. So it's not good for this current Knicks team to be giving up more points than they're actually scoring themselves. Now, here's why I say the Knicks defense is fool's gold. Now, don't get me wrong, I want them to be great, not just right now, but at the end of the season. I want them to have the top scoring defense. And right now, by the way, they also have the top scoring opponent field goal percentage and 3-point percentage right now. So I want all of that to be in place at the end of the season. Then we can really talk. But here's what I see with a Tom Thibodeau coach team. You know the style of play that he likes. He wants to muck it up. He wants to make sure that he grinds you out in order to get that win. But the way that the NBA is played now, it's kind of tough to do that. And you know what they say? They say defense leads to offense. Well, I'm calling cap on that. So the reason why I go that way, I'm going to tell you. It's a 4-letter word. Now get your notebooks out. Let's school's in session. Let's talk about this real quick. The reason being is a 4-letter word called pace. Now, if you don't know what pace is, I'm going to tell you. Pace is basically the number of possessions that a team has per game. Simply put, how many times does your team get the ball? Now, the Knicks, they're the worst team in the NBA in terms of pace, and get this, they're also the worst offensive scoring team in the NBA. Now, that's not good. That's not a good combination. You don't get the ball enough and you don't score enough. How are you going to be able to sustain that and be able to win games enough to make the playoff? Over the last 9 seasons, just 2 teams, 2, made the playoffs after having the worst pace in the NBA. We're talking about the 2017 Jazz and the 2014 Grizzlies. Look, it's not all gloom and doom. I'm an optimistic Knicks fan. But if they want to continue this success of being able to call themselves the best defensive team in the NBA, they need to get healthy. That's right. They got to bring back Frank Ntilikina. They got to get Alec Burks back. Now, what that does is those 2 people right there, Frank is going to help on the defensive end. Burks is going to help on the offensive end, and the offensive end is going to help their pace. If they increase their pace, they can increase their scoring, also while not hurting their defense. They do those 2 things, we'll talk about them being from fool's gold to the 24-karat magic in the air.
Don't ever do that again.
All right, anyway, listen, thank you for watching this video. Appreciate it if you share, tell your neighbors, tell your friends, and make sure you go to our social media pages and like our stuff, like our content. And as always, thank you for watching, and go Knicks.